14 years ago, I arrived in Dubai, left my old life and made one decision to pursue better career opportunities with just $600 in my pocket. At 30, I had no network, no plan, no backup. Today, SSF Business Group has worked with hundreds of businesses across the UAE and GCC. This is the actual story of how that happened, not the polished version. My name is Nargis, and today I'm not gonna give you tips or frameworks. I'm gonna tell you exactly how SSF Business Group actually started, including the parts that didn't go well. If you had met me before I moved to Dubai, you probably would have thought that I was crazy. Back in Tashkent, I had a successful career. I had stability, a good job, and I knew exactly where my life was going. But deep inside, I wanted something bigger. I wanted to challenge myself and see what was possible beyond everything I already knew. So I made a decision that completely changed my life. I left everything behind and moved to Dubai. I landed here with just $600, zero international experience, and absolutely no idea where to begin. I didn't know how to search for a job. I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how life worked here. I had no network, no connections, no roadmap, just hope. And then reality hit me. The apartment I moved into completely shattered my image I had of Dubai. I had seen the skyscrapers, the luxury hotels, the glamorous lifestyle on TV and social media. I honestly believed the entire city looked like that, but the place I arrived at was nothing like the Dubai I had imagined. It was old, crowded, and far from luxurious. I remember sitting there and thinking, did I make the biggest mistake of my life? I was scared. I felt lost, but at the same time, something inside me refused to give up, and I knew I hadn't come all this way just to buy a return ticket. I promised myself that one day I wouldn't just live in Dubai, I would build a life here that I could be proud of. And looking back now, that difficult beginning became the best thing that ever happened to me. I thought that hard part was getting there, but the hard part hadn't started yet. Years later, after building my career in Dubai, I decided to start my own business. And that's when I experienced something I never expected. Setting up a company in the UAE wasn't as simple as people made it sound. Every person I spoke to gave me different advice, and every consultant recommended a different license. The prices were all over the place, and no one really took the time to understand what I actually wanted to build. I remember thinking, if I'm confused and I've already lived there for years, how does someone who's just arrived make the right decision? Then I started meeting entrepreneurs from all over the world. They were making expensive mistakes, choosing the wrong licenses, paying hidden fees, opening companies that didn't match their business activities or plans, and then having to start over. That was the moment everything clicked. I realized people didn't just need someone to process paperwork, they needed someone they could trust, someone who would treat their business as carefully as they would treat their own. That's how the idea for SSF Business Group was born. I didn't want to build another company, registration agency. I wanted to build the company I wish I had found when I was starting my own journey in the UAE. Knowing what the problem was is one thing, but actually building something to solve it was a completely different fight. Years later, after building my career in Dubai, I decided to start my own business. And that's when I experienced something I never expected. Setting up a company in the UAE wasn't as simple as people made it sound. Every person I spoke to gave me different advice, and every consultant recommended a different license. The prices were all over the place, and no one really took the time to understand what I actually wanted to build. I remember thinking, if I'm confused and I've already lived there for years, how does someone who's just arrived make the right decision? Building SSF Business Group wasn't a glamorous success story. It was years of uncertainty that nobody saw. People see the company today, but they don't see the nights when I was questioning whether I had made the right choice and decision. There were months when every dirham mattered and I wasn't backed by investors. I didn't have wealthy partners. Everything I earned went straight back into the business. In the beginning, I made mistakes. I trusted the wrong people. I spent money on the things that didn't bring results at all. I believed promises that were never fulfilled. Every mistake cost me not only financially but emotionally. There were moments when clients chose someone cheaper. After spending days preparing proposals, holding meetings, answering endless questions, they would disappear because another company offered a lower price. I remember asking myself, maybe I am charging too much, maybe I should become like everyone else. But every time I thought about lowering my standards, I remembered why I started. I didn't build SSF Business Group to be the cheapest company in Dubai. I built it to be the company people could trust with one of the biggest decisions of their lives. At the same time, I was rebuilding my own life. After my divorce, I had to start from zero again, not just financially, but emotionally. There were days when I had to be strong for my clients while privately wondering how I was going to keep moving forward myself. I never seriously considered giving up, but I definitely questioned whether I was strong enough to keep going. What kept me moving wasn't confidence, it was responsibility to my clients, to my team, and to the younger version of myself who came to Dubai with just $600 and believed that one day she would build something meaningful. Looking back now, I realized the hardest years weren't slowing me down, they were preparing me. They taught me resilience, they taught me how to solve problems under pressure, and they shaped the values that SSF Business Group is built on today. The turning point wasn't a viral post or a lucky break, it was one client. I remember spending hours with that client, not because I had to, but because I genuinely wanted them to make the right decision. And instead of selling the most expensive package, I told them what they actually needed. And sometimes that even meant recommending a cheaper solution. A few weeks later, that client called me and said, I have someone you need to meet. Then another referral came and another. Before I realized that many of our new clients weren't finding us through advertising, they were coming because someone they trusted had already worked with us. That completely changed the way I looked at business. I stopped chasing as many clients as possible. Instead, I focused on making every single client feel like they were our only one client. We answered calls late at night, we solved problems that weren't even part of our contract. We stayed with our clients long after they received their trade license because I knew that opening a company is just the beginning of the journey. That's how SSF Business Group grew. Not because we had the biggest marketing budget or the lowest prices, but because people felt genuinely cared for. They trusted us with their businesses, and then they trusted us enough to recommend us to the people they cared about. Looking back, I realized the biggest shift wasn't in my strategy, it was in my mindset. I stopped trying to win transactions and started building relationships. And those relationships became the foundation of everything we've built today. Today, when people look at SSF Business Group, they see an established company. They see successful business owners, international clients, trade licenses, corporate bank accounts, HR solutions, compliance, and business growing across the UAE and the GCC. But what they don't always see is why this company exists. SSF wasn't created because I wanted to sell company formation services. It was created because I know exactly what it feels like to arrive in a country where you don't understand the system, you don't know who to trust, and every decision feels overwhelming. That's the journey I lived myself. Today we help entrepreneurs and businesses with everything they need to build and grow successfully, from choosing the right business structure and obtaining the correct trade license to banking, HR, visas, compliance, tax, registrations, and ongoing business support. But our real job goes far beyond paperwork. Our job is giving people clarity. It's helping them avoid costly mistakes. It's making sure they build their business on the right foundation from day one. Over the years, we've had the privilege of working with hundreds of entrepreneurs and companies from different parts of the world. Some are first-time founders chasing a dream, others are established companies and businesses expanding into the UAE and the GCC. What's remarkable is that so many of them remind me of myself when I first arrived in Dubai. They come with ambition, they come with ideas, but they also come with uncertainty. They ask the same questions I once asked. Where do I start? Who can I trust? Am I making the right decision? And every time I hear those questions, I'm reminded why I built SSF Business Group in the first place. Because I don't want anyone to feel as lost as I did. One of the things I'm most proud of isn't the number of companies we've helped establish. It's the relationships we've built along the way. Many of our clients don't stop working with us after receiving their trade license. They come back when they hire their first employee, when they expand their business, when they open another company, and they recommend us to their friends, families, and business partners. To me, that's the greatest achievement. It means they trusted us with something incredibly important, their dream. If I could go back and speak to the woman who landed in Dubai with just $600, I'd tell her this: keep going. The uncertainty you are feeling today will one day become the experience that helps thousands of other people. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need the courage to take the next step. And if you are watching this because you are in the same position I was years ago, trying to build a life, a career, or a business in a country that's completely new to you, know that you are not alone. That's exactly why SSF Business Group exists. If you'd like our team to help you start or grow your business in the UAE or anywhere across the GCC, you'll find the link in the description below. And this is my story. And if this story inspired you, subscribe to the channel. Every week I'll be sharing the real side of entrepreneurship in the UAE, the lessons, the mistakes, the opportunities, and everything I wish someone had told me when I first arrived. I'll see you in the next one.